Welcome to the Fear and Greed Afternoon Report for Friday the 21st of October 2022. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed the day down 0.8% to 6,677 points. For the week, it was down just over 1%. Now, the banks were sold off sharply today, with National Australia Bank falling nearly 2%. Commonwealth Bank was off 1.5% and Westpac and ANZ dropped more than 1%. Industrial property giant Goodman Group and QBE Insurance were both off 3%, while Wesfarmers and Brambles lost 2%. Among the large caps, the energy companies did best, with Woodside up 2.4% and Santos nearly 1% higher. No surprises. Well, it's not this year anyway. Coal miners jumped sharply again, with Whitehaven up 5% after completing a 10% share buyback with plans to do more. New Hope spiked 7%. Incredible run for those companies. Life360 rose 7% after announcing a price increase in its US products, but the best of the day was Telix Pharmaceuticals, following its business update yesterday. Property investment group Home Consortium was the worst of the top 200, down nearly 5%, while Origin Energy fell 4%. The Aussie dollar enters the weekend worth 62.5 US cents. Story number 2, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was in Perth today announcing a $50 million commitment to accelerate Australia's critical mineral sector. Much of it is for a research and development hub to help promote the local sector. Mr Albanese said the investment would help develop Australia's nascent battery production industry, which he reckons could support 34,000 jobs and be worth about $7.5 billion annually by the end of this decade. The Prime Minister said the pandemic showed that Australia needed to do more than just dig up the commodities for the global supply chain and be more self-reliant through value-added industries. Story number 3, the flood crisis continues with Victoria and parts of New South Wales inundated with water. Victorian towns along the Murray River are expected to experience the worst of the flooding in coming days. Today, the Victorian government said it had fixed 39,000 potholes caused by the floods. About 22,000 applications have been made for flood relief in the state, while 51 schools and 63 early learning centres remain closed. Treasurer Jim Chalmers said the floods will cost Australia about 0.25 percentage point from economic growth in the December quarter and will add a relatively small amount to inflation. He said some costs, though, will rise significantly, notably fruit and vegetables. Story number 4, Energy Australia has revealed it suffered a cyber hack a month ago as Medibank today asked for its shares to remain on hold. The health insurer sent its second letter to customers in just 2 days, apologising unreservedly for the breach. The company also warned it was the tip of the iceberg and the number of customers affected is expected to grow. Meanwhile, Energy Australia said a breach occurred on September 30, resulting in unauthorised access to 323 customers' information, including household and small business names, addresses, email addresses, electricity and gas bills, phone numbers, and the first 6 and last 3 digits of credit cards. But Energy Australia said the breach did not include documents that can be used to commit identity fraud like passports and driver's licence or bank details. And finally, story number 5, what a story. We'll finish the week with UK politics and the resignation overnight of Prime Minister Liz Truss. She lasted in the top job just 45 days. That's the shortest time for any Prime Minister in the UK ever. Of course, it came after she lost the support of some members of her cabinet thanks to a disastrous tax cut plan, which she eventually had to reverse. The Conservatives will take a week to pick a new leader, which is extremely quick for UK politics. And one interesting potential candidate is former Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Media reports suggest he's interested. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese today said he was worried that the resignation could slow the finalisation of the UK's free trade agreement with Australia. That's it for the afternoon report for Friday the 21st of October 2022. Don't forget to hit follow on the podcast and find Fear and Greed on LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook. Join Michael Thompson and I tomorrow morning for the weekend edition of Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.